Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The NFL world has been buzzing with whispers and speculation as the Miami Dolphins reportedly pulled off a blockbuster trade sending star wide receiver Jaylen Waddle to the Los Angeles Chargers in a lightning-fast deal that has caught many by surprise. While the official details are still trickling in and teams remain tight-lipped, insiders suggest that this move could shake up the AFC and ripple through the league in unexpected ways. Rumors swirl that the Dolphins were aggressively pursuing roster upgrades and might have seen this trade as a strategic play to reshape their offense. The Chargers, on the other hand, appear eager to bolster their receiving core, potentially setting the stage for an explosive partnership with their dynamic quarterback. This sudden transaction has fans and analysts scrambling to reassess team strategies, with many wondering how this could impact the Dolphins' gameplay and locker room dynamics. The deal's timing reportedly finalized during a brief window before the deadline adds an element of urgency and surprise, fueling speculation about Miami's long-term plans. Experts are debating whether this move signals a rebuild, a shakeup, or an attempt to capitalize on Waddle's peak value. Across social media, reactions range from shock to excitement, with fans of both teams weighing the pros and cons. While the full trade package remains confidential, whispers suggest it includes a mix of draft picks and promising young talent. This development could redefine Miami's offensive identity and inject fresh energy into Los Angeles' receiving options, sparking endless debates in NFL circles about who truly came out ahead. Adding layers to this swirling narrative are reports hinting at behind-the-scenes negotiations that reportedly unfolded at a frantic pace. Sources close to the situation suggest the Dolphins' front office may have been negotiating multiple offers before agreeing to terms with the Chargers. Some speculate that the Chargers' willingness to meet Miami's demands in such a quick turnaround is a testament to their aggressive approach in the current season, aiming to maximize their championship window. Meanwhile, the Dolphins appear to be playing a long game, potentially eyeing cap space flexibility and future drafts by offloading a key piece. These behind-the-curtain moves paint a picture of two franchises working with clear, albeit different, strategic visions. Observers note that Miami's decision to part ways with Waddle might be influenced by internal evaluations of fit and performance consistency, although the receiver has been a fan favorite and a major contributor. The buzz also includes chatter about how this trade might affect team morale and chemistry, as such a sudden change can send ripples through locker rooms. Coaches and players have yet to publicly comment, adding to the anticipation and rumors. Some analysts are now revisiting Miami's depth charts, trying to predict who steps up in Waddle's absence. Conversely, Chargers fans are already fantasizing about highlight reel plays that Waddle's speed and agility could create in their offense. This trade, while shrouded in some mystery, is undoubtedly a major talking point and a pivotal moment in the NFL offseason, with implications that will unfold as the season progresses and both teams adapt to their new realities. Adding further intrigue to this story is the timing of the trade, which came just as teams were finalizing their rosters ahead of the new season. The Dolphins, known for their methodical approach to roster building, seem to have accelerated their plans, surprising many with this rapid transaction. Industry insiders are speculating whether this trade was a reaction to internal evaluations injuries or a sudden opportunity presented by the Chargers' eagerness to strike a deal. The Chargers front office has been vocal about their desire to inject more speed and explosiveness into their passing game, and acquiring a player like Waddle aligns with that vision. Yet skeptics question whether the Chargers may have overpaid, given Waddle's high profile and Miami's insistence on significant compensation. Rumors also hint at a potential domino effect, with other teams possibly eyeing trades influenced by this major shakeup. Miami's fans are divided, some excited by the promise of new talent heading their way, others concerned about losing a dynamic. Our playmaker. The uncertainty surrounding what the Dolphins received in return adds a layer of suspense as insiders speculate about draft picks or young prospects who could fill gaps. This trade might also be signaling a philosophical shift in Miami's offensive strategy, potentially embracing a more balanced or run-heavy approach. On the other hand, the Chargers' decision to pursue Waddle may reflect a winnow mentality, hoping to elevate their passing attack to elite status. As NFL experts digest this deal, many are already revising their season predictions, forecasting how this trade will impact the AFC's balance of power. The coming weeks will likely reveal how both teams adjust their schemes to incorporate or replace the talents involved in this high-profile exchange. What adds to the speculation is the rumored package involved in the trade, which is believed to be substantial, pointing to the high stakes of the deal. Industry chatter suggests the Dolphins didn't settle for less than a haul of draft picks and potentially a promising young player aiming to build for sustained success. Analysts are poring over the implications of such a return, weighing whether Miami's gamble will pay off in the long term. Some believe that the Dolphins front office is looking to build a foundation for years ahead, especially given the uncertainty around their quarterback situation. Meanwhile, the Chargers appear ready to make an Allen push with their revamped offense, banking on Waddle's speed and ability to create separation to transform their passing game. This trade has stirred debates about the valuation of wide receivers. In today's NFL, with Waddle often viewed as a game changer, but also coming with questions about durability and consistency. There's also the narrative that Miami could be positioning itself for a major splash in the next draft, using the acquired assets to chase young talent. Chargers fans, meanwhile, are buzzing with anticipation, hopeful that Waddle's arrival signals a new era of offensive dominance. The deal also raises questions about how both teams will approach the salary cap, as absorbing or shedding contracts can have ripple effects. Some insiders hint that this trade could lead to further moves from either side as rosters continue to evolve. The buzz is palpable, with commentators eagerly awaiting how both franchises deploy their new resources. This trade has not only redefined team rosters, but also reignited conversations about strategy and team building in the modern NFL landscape, setting the stage for a fascinating season ahead. The intrigue deepens when considering the potential ripple effects this trade may have across the league, with other teams possibly adjusting their plans in response to Miami and Los Angeles' sudden moves. The timing and nature of this deal suggests a shift in how teams value agility and speed at the wide receiver position, perhaps prompting rival franchises to reconsider their own rosters. Rumors circulate that some AFC teams are already exploring options to reinforce their receiving. Corps worried that Waddle's move could tip competitive balance. On the flip side, the Dolphins' strategy might inspire other franchises to pursue similar trades, focusing on acquiring draft capital and young talent to rejuvenate their squads. Analysts are keenly observing how this deal affects the dynamics of upcoming games, especially when the Dolphins and Chargers eventually face off. The narrative also extends to coaching tactics, with speculations about how Miami's offensive coordinator will adapt their playbook without Waddle's explosiveness, possibly leaning more on the run game or other receivers. Meanwhile, the Chargers could revamp their schemes to maximize Waddle's speed, potentially reshaping their entire offensive identity. Social media platforms are flooded with discussions, memes, and predictions, showing how deeply this trade has penetrated fan consciousness. Betting markets might also react, adjusting odds for the Dolphins and Chargers based on perceived roster strength. Moreover, this move may influence player morale and contract negotiations within both teams, as the ripple effects of trading a key player are multifaceted. The larger NFL ecosystem watches closely, aware that such bold maneuvers often signal the start of broader strategic shifts. As these storylines unfold, the significance of this trade will become clearer, potentially marking a turning point in the season and beyond, as Miami and Los Angeles chase their goals under new circumstances. Further fueling speculation is the impact this trade could have on the Dolphins' locker room dynamics, a subject that insiders and fans alike are dissecting with keen interest. Waddle, known not just for his on-field explosiveness, but also for his charismatic presence, has been a central figure in Miami's team culture. Rumors suggest that his departure may open leadership opportunities for emerging players, but also raises questions about how the team will maintain morale and cohesion after losing a fan favorite. Coaches are reportedly evaluating how to redistribute responsibilities among remaining skill players, potentially reshaping offensive hierarchies. The trade also prompts questions about the quarterback-receiver chemistry, as Waddle's synergy with the Dolphins quarterback has been a critical component of their offensive success. Fans and analysts are debating how the absence of Waddle will affect passing efficiency and the overall offensive rhythm. Conversely, Chargers insiders appear optimistic that Waddle's integration will be seamless, with reports highlighting his professionalism and work ethic. The locker room culture in Los Angeles is said to be welcoming, with veteran players eager to help Waddle acclimate quickly. Yet some speculate about how this addition might affect the existing pecking order among the Chargers receivers, potentially stirring competition or rivalry. This trade's human element adds depth to the story, reminding everyone that beyond stats and contracts, player dynamics and personality significantly influence team performance. As training camps approach, all eyes will be on how both teams manage these transitions behind closed doors, with the potential for unexpected developments that could further fuel speculation and analysis. The broader strategic implications of this trade also invite intense discussion regarding both franchises' approaches to their respective futures. For the Dolphins, this move could be a sign of embracing a more flexible, adaptive team building philosophy, prioritizing draft capital and young talent development over retaining established stars. Some experts argue this reflects confidence in their coaching staff's ability to develop new playmakers and sustain competitiveness despite significant roster changes. The Chargers, on the other hand, seem to be doubling down on an aggressive, winnow mindset, betting that acquiring a proven playmaker like Waddle will accelerate their path to the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl appearance. This contrasting strategy highlights the delicate balance between building for immediate success and planning for long-term sustainability. Industry insiders are keen to monitor how this trade influences front office decisions in the coming months, including contract extensions, draft priorities, and potential additional trades. The move may also prompt deeper evaluations of each team's quarterback situation, offensive line stability, and defensive needs, as the ripple effects of such a trade go beyond just the receiver position. Fans and analysts alike are already crafting season narratives based on these strategic shifts, speculating whether Miami's apparent rebuild or the Chargers' Allen gamble will pay dividends. This trade thus serves as a lens through which broader league trends about roster management, player evaluation, and competitive timing are examined. As the NFL landscape evolves, the outcomes of this deal will likely be cited as a defining moment in both franchises' histories. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. Another intriguing angle to consider is the potential financial ramifications this trade could have on both franchises moving forward. Trades of high-profile players often come with significant salary cap considerations, and rumors are swirling about how this deal might impact the Dolphins and Chargers' cap flexibility. Industry insiders suggest Miami could be clearing substantial salary space, allowing them to pursue free agents or absorb future contracts that fit their evolving roster strategy. This cap relief might be crucial if the Dolphins plan to invest heavily in young talent or seek upgrades in key positions like quarterback or defense. Conversely, the Chargers may be taking on a bigger salary commitment, signaling their readiness to invest heavily in proven talent to enhance immediate competitiveness. This financial gamble could influence future contract negotiations for both teams, particularly with upcoming free agents and draft prospects, watching how their organizations manage resources. The trade also highlights the increasing complexity of NFL roster management, where teams must juggle talent acquisition with salary cap sustainability. Analysts are already speculating about whether this move sets a precedent for similar future trades involving star players, as financial strategy becomes ever more intertwined with on-field decisions. The ripple effects on contract structures, bonuses, and incentives for players could shape team-building philosophies league-wide. In short, this trade is not only a football maneuver, but also a financial chess match, with both franchises calculating risks and rewards as they prepare for the seasons ahead. The narrative surrounding this trade is further enriched by fan reactions and social media buzz, which have erupted since the news broke. Fans of both the Dolphins and Chargers have flooded platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit with passionate, takes memes and debates, turning this trade into a viral sensation. Dolphin supporters express a mix of heartbreak and cautious optimism, with some praising the front office for boldness, while others lament losing a dynamic star. Chargers fans, meanwhile, are largely ecstatic, envisioning highlight reel plays and a reinvigorated offense that could propel their team deeper into the playoffs. This fan-driven energy adds a layer of cultural significance to the trade, illustrating how player movements resonate beyond the field and influence team identities and community spirit. Some social media commentators are already creating hypothetical lineups and play scenarios incorporating Waddle in the Chargers offense, sparking lively discussions about potential game-changing moments. The trade also prompts nostalgic reflections on Waddle's career, with Miami celebrating his contributions while eagerly anticipating his next chapter. Media outlets have jumped on the story, producing a flood of content, including opinion pieces, highlight reels, and interviews that fuel ongoing interest and speculation. This social media frenzy exemplifies the modern sports fans' engagement, where trades quickly become trending topics that shape narratives and fan experiences. As the preseason progresses, this online buzz will likely evolve, keeping the trade at the forefront of NFL discourse and fan excitement. Looking ahead, the real test for both teams will be how they integrate the trade's consequences into their on-field performance and broader organizational goals. Rumors suggest that Miami is already strategizing to mitigate the impact of losing a key offensive weapon, exploring new formations, player combinations, and perhaps emphasizing a more diversified attack. The coaching staff's ability to adapt and innovate would be crucial in maintaining competitiveness and meeting fan expectations. Meanwhile, the Chargers face the challenge of maximizing Waddle's talents, quickly building chemistry and trust between him and their quarterback. Training camp reports and preseason games will be closely watched to gauge how well this integration unfolds. Observers speculate that this trade could be a defining factor in the AFC's playoff race, potentially altering team trajectories and season narratives. There is also talk of potential follow-up moves from both franchises, as this trade might be just the first in a series of roster adjustments designed to optimize performance. The evolving stories of the Dolphins and Chargers will be intertwined with how effectively they manage these changes on and off the field. Ultimately, the success or failure of this trade could influence future front office decisions across the league, shaping how teams approach star player transactions. The coming months promise to be fascinating as all eyes turn toward these two franchises navigating their new realities with high stakes and heightened expectations. As the dust settles, the legacy of this trade is already beginning to take shape. In NFL conversations and expert analysis, many are debating whether Miami's bold move represents a savvy rebuilding step or a risky gamble that could backfire if the incoming assets don't develop as hoped. Similarly, the Chargers are lauded for their ambition but face pressure to justify the cost by delivering results on the field. This trade encapsulates the high-risk, high-reward nature of professional football, where timing, talent evaluation, and strategic vision must align perfectly to achieve success. Historical parallels are being drawn to other major trades in NFL history, with pundits considering how this one might be remembered decades from now. The story also highlights the human element of sports. Players uprooted, fan bases shifted, and franchises evolving in real time. Both teams' journeys post-trade will be closely scrutinized, with media coverage tracking every twist and turn. And the trade has already invigorated discussions about player evaluation, team-building philosophies, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Ultimately, this transaction adds another thrilling chapter to the ever-dynamic narrative of the NFL, promising drama, excitement, and unforgettable moments as the season unfolds. The ripple effects of Miami and Los Angeles' daring move will be felt across the league, keeping fans and analysts captivated for years to come. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.